Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Speaking360. Got another great pro tip for you this week. How do you avoid pouring your heart out to an audience that just doesn't seem to care? You put in the work, you put in the preparation, you're giving it everything you've got, but they just don't seem to care. How do you avoid that without spending hours and hours and hours crafting out a word perfect speech that you probably can't remember anyway, and it stresses you out even trying to remember it? And best of all, how do you do this without copying anyone else, without trying to be somebody else, without trying to be someone you're not, without pretending to be something or someone that you're not, but remaining authentically true to who you really are? How do you do that? Well, that's what we're going to look at. The message today comes from John Maxwell. John sent a video to Susan and I yesterday saying, I'm speaking at Christ Fellowship tomorrow. Why don't you come down? I'll save you a couple of seats in the front row, and I'd love to see you. So we went with the Manzano family earlier today, and it was a great message, as you can imagine. And then afterwards, we managed to snap a selfie, and I can't help thinking that I'm, again, the only person taking this selfie seriously. There's a pattern emerging here. Anyway, we had a great time. On the way back, Susan said, that was great, wasn't it? And I said, yeah, we were talking about it. She said, you should use that quote for your Sunday video. I said, well, which quote? She said, you know the quote. I thought, ooh, that's good. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. That's what we're going to look at. So really, really powerful. But if you don't know who John is, real quick, he's the #1 leadership expert in the world. Produced more leadership material than anyone else in the world. And I strongly believe, and you'll never convince me otherwise, the reason John is the world's #1 leadership expert is because he's the world's #1 communication expert. He's the world's #1 speaker. He's a phenomenal communicator. Now, I'm not saying John doesn't have great leadership material. He has the best leadership material, but he wouldn't be anywhere near as popular if he wasn't a great communicator as well. So he's a great person to learn from, and I think this quote today illustrates that perfectly. So what's the big idea then? What's the big idea? Well, if you don't connect with your audience before anything else, before you do anything else, if you don't connect with your audience, if you don't establish that foundation before you do anything else, before you do all the other things that you want to do, if you don't connect with your audience, then none of those things matter. Nothing else is going to happen. Because without that foundation, you're saying it, but they're not getting it. And the goal is not for you to say it. You think it is, but it's actually not. That's the first part of it. The goal is for them to get it. Remember, it's all about the audience, not you. If it was about the speaker, you saying it would be enough. But it's about the audience. It's about them getting it. And for that to happen, we need this foundation. We need this infrastructure of connection. So that's what we're going to talk about. Look at this quote. This is a beauty. John said, "The closer I get to people, the more I love them." The closer I get to people, the more I love them. Isn't that great? I remember going to Thailand years ago, 30 years ago. I was there for like 8 months in Southeast Asia, traveling around. And I met so many different people from all kinds of different nations around the world. There's this big group of us, real kind of international group, a real mix. It was wonderful. And I got back and I was kind of thinking about this. I was talking to my sister and I said, I think everyone's nice once you get to know them. And it's true, isn't it? But the problem is not that they aren't nice once you get to know them. It's that we don't take the time very often to get to know them. Whose responsibility is that to get to know them? Because the closer we get to them, if we have that relationship, the more we know them, the closer we get, John's saying, then he's saying, I realize the more I love them, the closer I get. But the further away I get, the more I judge them. Oh, that's a beauty, isn't it? Guilty. I mean, the further away I get, the more I judge them. We're all a bit like this. We're all a bit judgy as human beings, aren't we? The antidote to that is to close the gap, get closer to them and realize how lovely everyone is once you get to know them. We've all got problems. We all make mistakes, of course. That's part of being human. But when there's a relationship, the closer we get, then we realize we love them. I remember talking to John years back on one of our calls and saying, I think I'm a people person. I think I enjoy people. And he says, everyone is. Everyone is. As long as someone comes up to you, shakes your hand with a big smile, says, hi, I'm John. What's your name? What are you doing here? And is very kind of friendly and reaches out to you, then everyone responds in a very kind of personable way. He said, that's not the key to it. The key to it is connectors go first. Connectors go first. They don't wait. They reach out. They take responsibility for building that connection. Now, it's in both sides, all parties' interests to have the connection, because the more we find out about each other, the more we love each other, and then we have new friends. So it's in everyone benefits, but somebody needs to take responsibility for it. The connectors go first. That's the difference. Beautiful when you think of it like that, isn't it? Really good. I love it. So simple, so John, actually. So simple, but so powerful. Okay, how do we put this into practice then? Well, this, I think, is easier than you think, as long as you actually care. If you just care about your audience, if you care about your customer, if you care about other people, it makes all the difference in the world, because you see things differently and you treat them differently. John says, if you value other people, value them, then you treat them as valuable. And then it's natural that you want to help them. So remember, we're talking about customer-centric. We're talking about audience-centric, people-centric, not us. It's not about us. As a communicator, we're taking responsibility for the connection with our audience because we want to help them, and we understand that that connection is vital to that taking place. So a great quote from John: the closer I get to people, the more I love them. The further away I get, the more I judge them. If you found this useful, we'd love it if you'd share the love, share the link. The link is simply speaking360.com. My name's Roddy Galbraith. Thanks for being a part of Speaking 360. I'll see you next week if I don't see you before. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless.